Hey guys, Bellamy here from Midnight Suns. Today I'm going to show you guys how to instantly improve your aiming in Overwatch 2 just by changing some settings in the game. If you are a long-time Overwatch 1 player like me and you are experiencing that aiming feels really different and weird in Overwatch 2, you are not imagining things. Basically, Blizzard has added a lot of unnecessary visual clutter as well as some unintended bugs into the mouse controls for the game. But the good news is that a lot of these issues can easily be fixed just by changing some settings in the options menu. So now I'm going to show you guys how to adjust these settings in order to get a gaming experience that is much more similar to Overwatch 1. Some of these settings were already in Overwatch 1, so if you had adjusted them before, then you don't need to do it again. But some of these settings are brand new to Overwatch 2, so I highly recommend making sure that you have all these settings set correctly, as it will really affect the accuracy of your aiming. Okay, so when you're in the main menu, you press escape to access the options menu. Click options. So first one we want to go to is this video tab. Under video, you go to dynamic render scale. Make sure this is turned off. So sometimes you might notice when you're in the middle of a team battle and you are swinging your mouse and everything starts looking really blurry even though you have a very high frame rate. That is because the game's actually reducing its resolution output in order to maintain that high frame rate, because that's what this dynamic render scale does. So on paper it might sound good because it might keep your frame rate very high, but in practice it just makes things even harder to see because everything just becomes so blur. So turning this setting off will actually reduce the blurriness and ensure that your resolution always stays constant. Alright, the next setting we want to go to is up here in the gameplay tab. Make sure under miscellaneous, you enable high precision mouse input. Make sure this is turned on. So what this setting does is it allows you to be more accurate if you have a gaming mouse with a very high polling rate. When you turn this setting on, the game will be able to synchronize with the high polling frequencies of your mouse with much greater precision. So if you have a gaming mouse, definitely turn this option on. And even if you don't, it doesn't hurt to just turn it on either. Alright, next we are going into the HUD on the top left here. So make sure in this in-world setting, make sure you set waypoint opacity and respawn icon opacity down to 50%. So most of you, when you just log in, it will be at 100. Make sure you set it down to 50. Like so. So you know those big opaque waypoint markers that you always see on the objective? Well, those can actually prevent you from seeing enemies that are behind those waypoint markers because it obscures them. So I highly recommend reducing these two settings to 50% so that the waypoint markers will still be easy to see, but they'll be translucent and they'll be much less obstructive. Okay, next we go to accessibility up here. Go to general. Make sure camera shake is set to reduced. And make sure that HUD shake is turned off. So I think these settings are pretty straightforward. You want to turn off the HUD shake and remove camera shake because you don't want your screen to be shaking for any reason during combat. So definitely turn them off or reduce them as much as you can. Okay, so the next setting is basically a huge bug in Overwatch 2. You go under controls, controller, advanced, and you make sure that your aim smoothing is default at 100%. Make sure you set it down to 0. There is a weird bug in Overwatch 2 where this particular controller setting is affecting mouse inputs as well. What this setting does is reduce all the small jittery movements of your mouse, which ends up greatly reducing your accuracy, especially if you are playing a hit scan hero. On controller, this might be good because you don't want all the small jittery movements when you accidentally move your thumb on the thumbstick, but on PC, this is very bad. You always want to be making those small micro movements when you're playing on a mouse, so definitely turn this off. So if you're watching this video and Blizzard still hasn't fixed this bug yet, make sure you change this aim smoothing setting to 0% and you'll be good to go. Alright, this next group of settings applies to a few heroes in the game that have guns with recoil. Alright, so you press change hero and go to Baptist. So if you notice, you look down here, it says recoil recovery aim compensation. So mine is already turned off, but it starts at on default, so make sure you set it off. So what the game does when you're playing heroes such as Baptist is that when you left click, it puts your cursor back down to the starting point before you fire again. Turning this setting off does not eliminate the automatic recoil recovery, but it does allow you to make more micro movements during the recoil recovery process, allowing you to line up your next shot much more quickly. Turning this setting off might take some time to get used to, especially if you've been playing with this setting on the whole time. But trust me, your accuracy will greatly improve in the long run with this setting off. So you will want to turn this setting off for the following heroes: Baptiste, Widowmaker, Ashe, and Cassidy. Alright, after we've done Baptiste, we go to Widowmaker, and then we make sure recovery aim compensation is off. And then next, we go to Cassidy. Make sure it's off here as well. And then last but not least, we go to Ashe, and make sure it's off here as well. And that's about it for the settings. I hope that this was able to help, and now you are ready to go out there and snipe some Pharah. So thanks again for watching, guys, and as always, stay gold.